Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Wanted to talk about this book today, Sideshow by Mike Resnick. It's part of his Galactic Midway series. It's a, a science fiction book that is the first in the Tales of Galactic Midway series, put out in 1982. It kind of has a Mike Resnick blend of sort of gritty charm, a little bit of humor. It's basically the book of a traveling carnival with really weird kind of possibilities and some weird alien encounters. And if you look at the original cover, there's some things on there that do kind of get interesting. If you love kind of character driven sci-fi with a touch of humor and some sort of moral complexity, the book is really good. So let's take a look. Mike Resnick, if you haven't read any of his stuff, he's sort of this guy in science fiction that kind of wrote a whole bunch of stuff. He wrote about 70 novels, 250 or so short stories, five Hugo Awards, a Nebula, a dozen other awards of different types and over the years. So he's a very decorated science fiction author. He's known for sort of his world building that he does at least as good, if not better, than many others in the field, myself included. He often does take inspiration from some strange sort of diverse settings, where he kind of blends outer space with Earth and kind of puts it all together. Now, the plot in this one, Sideshow, is follows a character named Thaddeus Flint, who's this sort of weird carnival owner who's always kind of chasing the next big thing that's going to bring him a bunch of money. So we all know that guy, right? He's always chasing the next big thing. And he kind of takes over this competing carnival that has a much better freak show than he does. And if you remember back to the carnival days, you've seen movies about it. They all had little shows where things might not have been completely human or completely above board, where they kind of dress people up to look like they weren't really what they are. So he took one over that had a competing freak show, and he wanted to cash in on these kind of bizarre freaks that were in that show. Like there's a three-breasted woman, a lizard man, and here's the thing: these people aren't human, right? He thought they were just human, um, sort of deformations, but they're not. They were actually aliens, and interestingly, they were aliens on sort of a they were tourists actually visiting Earth, and they wanted to learn more about us. So Flint, the opportunist, kind of keeps that secret of their appearance and tries to draw a crowd, but the aliens stay on Earth. Kind of drags on. They start getting sick because they're not used to being here. They can't cope with our environment, and that, of course, forces them to face the consequences of exploiting these creatures. So he gets to interact with them, and he begins to change. He kind of develops a sense of responsibility, and you go down the list of it is pretty good. Um, the story is set entirely on Earth. It is a very quick read. It's not terribly long. It's 150 something pages, so maybe it qualifies as more of a novella than a novel. But and Flint, the main character, just kind of take this arc from profiteer to someone with more broad vision, and it's kind of cool to kind of walk through that arc. And he does try to navigate his relationship with the aliens. He does have this actual human sidekick who is a hunchback, who adds some sort of empathy into the whole equation, which is pretty cool. Uh, I, the book stood out for me for a lot of reasons. I like Mike Resnick stuff because he's always kind of quick. Um, it is kind of a unique setting, and that kind of sets it apart. It's part of a 4-part series, and I'll read the others and do videos on them very soon because they're all very short reads. And unlike most sci-fi novels, it does that drive kind of dive right into space. This one does stay on Earth, and it kind of keeps the story colorful and sort of has this sort of traveling carnival going through New England. So it lets Resnick focus more on character relationships and moral dilemmas rather than trying to describe some big galactic whatever that's going on. So it is 80s pulp sci-fi, complete with absolutely silly covers, right? I mean, you don't get sillier than that. Well, maybe there's a later one in the series that actually gets much sillier than that. So Mike Resnick, he's not with us anymore. He passed away in 2020, but his books, do kind of live on. So if you're looking for a sci-fi that's kind of equal parts entertaining, thought-provoking, funny, it's a good pick. It's a blend of sort of carnivals and aliens with a fresh sort of a different take on the alien genre than you normally see. Um, but if you haven't read his stuff, it is available on Kindle. The paperback's getting harder to find. If you find it, it's probably 20 bucks or something, but they are around online. You probably are not going to find it in a used bookstore, just magically sitting there. But it is available on Kindle for, I think, less than $5. Um, Great book. I enjoyed it. A great poolside read. Doesn't take lots of time. Doesn't take lots of energy. It's not like some sci-fi novels today where you have to have like a map of, sort of mapping out what happened where and to who and to how, and oh, what are that ship's capabilities versus. It's not like that at all. It's just fun. So if you haven't read any of Mike Resnick stuff, this is a great place to start. Sideshow, Mike Resnick, Tales of the Galactic Midway, Part 1. I hope everybody has a pleasant weekend.